This lamp was bought new by my grandfather's uncle. I would guess sometime before World War I. He liked the lamps with the tulips, but he wanted one with more tulips than the regular tulip shades that they had. So he special ordered a shade with more tulips than the regular tulip lampshade. So he bought this lamp brand new from the Tiffany counter at Marshall Field in Chicago. The price was $125 for the base, $250 for the standard shade, plus $125 for the special work on the shade, for a total of $500 for the lamp when he bought it new.
The tulip shade was one of Tiffany Studio's most beloved floral creations, first introduced in the early 1900s and continually refined over the next decade into larger, more naturalistic designs. By around 1910 to 1915, Tiffany was crafting ambitious tulip shades of impressive scale, each made from leaded Favril glass and mounted on patinated bronze bases. In this particular example, the overlapping tiers of tulips come alive in glass, revealing Tiffany Studio's remarkable ability to blend color, texture, and light to conjure the illusion of a sunlit field in bloom. What makes this lamp especially distinctive is its departure from Tiffany's typical compositions. Instead of the usual border rows and depictions of soil, the design draws the viewer's eye to a dense band of tulips near the lower edge of the shade, amplifying the sense of natural abundance. Over time, both the stem and the leading have acquired a rich, aged patina, a hallmark of authenticity that deepens its beauty and makes this tulip lamp one of the most desirable treasures among Tiffany collectors.
In terms of value, at auction, an estimate for this would be between $150,000 and $200,000.
Okay.
Now, in a retail shop, and for insurance purposes, I would put a value of $375,000 on it.
Okay.
So thank you for bringing it in.
Thank you.
My brother received a phone call from a lawyer, and the lawyer said our half-sister Phyllis had passed and left her estate to my brother, my sister, and myself. She lived in Sedona, Arizona. So I was the one that went to Arizona and went to the house, and then I went into the bedroom, and on her side table was this lamp. So I knew immediately that it was pretty special, and we found markings for Tiffany Company.
So the poppy was a very popular design, and it did come in a number of different sizes and shapes. This is what they would call the 20-inch cone.
The poppy design bloomed during the golden age of Tiffany Studios in the early 20th century, one of the studio's most ambitious and expressive floral creations. Its shade, made from Tiffany's signature Favril glass, glows with brilliant reds and oranges as poppies stretch across a background of soft greens and sky-toned blues. Beneath the shade, you'll find the studio's hallmark, used on authentic Tiffany lamps made after 1910. Adding to its beauty, the base is finished in 24-karat gold leaf and decorated with intricate patterns that mirror the artistry above. Every part of this lamp remains original, except for the socket, making it a remarkable example of Tiffany Studios' unmatched craftsmanship and a lasting symbol of American artistry at its finest.
So that would have put this shade with that base.
The base.
So at the time, the shade would have cost by itself $115, and the base would have cost $45, which is not an insignificant amount of money.
Right, that time period.
So in today's market, I would put an auction estimate of $70,000 to $90,000 on this lamp.
Very nice.
And it's really a really fine example.
My mother found this in the late 60s. There was a little neighborhood newspaper flyer, and she read that there was a glass lamp for sale. And my mother saw it, knew what it was.
And the woman, she also knew what it was. It had belonged to her grandfather. And she had moved into a very small studio apartment, and it was just too large. And my mother asked her, well, what would you like for it? And
she said $125.
That's right.
125, so my mother
Woo, went to the bank real quick.
purchased it and has had it ever since.
And your family has taken very good care of it.
Well, there's 5 of us, and my mother did hide it.
She had it hidden away in the
Special hiding
house.
place
Here
in
we
the
go.
house.
Named for its distinctive helmet-shaped shade, adorned with lush rose blossoms in Favreal glass, this lamp represents the pinnacle of Tiffany's Art Nouveau mastery and his lifelong devotion to transforming nature into luminous art. By 1905, Tiffany Studios was producing an extraordinary variety of leaded glass lamps inspired by flowers, vines, and gardens. The rose helmet design, sometimes described in period catalogs as the helmet shade with roses, belongs to this era of boundless creativity and experimentation with floral forms. The helmet silhouette curves elegantly downward, cradling the light like a glowing dome, while the rose motif unfolds in cascading bands of red, pink, and coral petals woven with vibrant green leaves. The lamp's arc and leaf stem further embodies Tiffany's Art Nouveau vocabulary, its stylized foliage encircling the base and subtly repeating as it ascends towards the socket. Authentic Tiffany rose helmet lamps are exceedingly rare, as the model was produced in far smaller numbers than the studio's larger, more elaborate floral designs.
Now let me just give you the good news. This lamp is worth between $80,000 and $125,000. Mom had a good eye. Congratulations. Oh, I have to give you guys a hug. Isn't it great to get news? Oh, you're so cute.
I inherited the lamp a year ago when my father passed away. Back in the 50s, my grandmother worked for wealthy people in Atherton and Menlo Park area, and apparently she found this lamp that was down in the basement. It was a dirt basement, crusted with dirt, and she brought it home, cleaned it up, and she gave it to my mother. I did some research on it. I found out it was a Tiffany Lotus Bell table lamp.
You're correct. This is a Tiffany Studios Lotus Bell table lamp.
At the turn of the century, Tiffany Studios had earned worldwide acclaim for transforming nature's most delicate forms, flowers, dragonflies, wisteria, and water lilies, into radiant masterpieces of functional art. This Lotus Bell table lamp perfectly embodies the artistry and spirit of that golden era. Its design draws inspiration from the sacred lotus flower, a timeless symbol of purity, enlightenment, and rebirth in Eastern art and philosophy. Motifs that deeply resonated with Louis Comfort Tiffany's fascination for Japanese and Indian aesthetics. True to its name, the lamp's bell-shaped shade mirrors the softly drooping petals of a lotus blossom, each rendered in shimmering Favreal glass and proudly bearing the Tiffany Studios mark. Equally noteworthy is the stamp found on the underside of the base, which not only confirms its authenticity, but also securely dates the piece to between 1902 and 1904, a period considered among the studio's most inventive. Though there is a slight variation in patina between the shade and the base, suggesting they were crafted at different times, and the switch has been replaced, this Lotus Bell lamp remains a prized example of Tiffany's vision, where art, nature, and light converge in perfect harmony.
The socket's been changed. That does affect the value of the lamp, although it can be put back. People do have original parts. It's been very elastic with this. In 2020, a lamp like this sold at auction for $17,000. In 2019, a lamp like this sold for $37,500 at auction, which makes you worry a little bit. However, they are going up because this is a very desirable kind of lamp. Collectors today are very drawn to the more geometric lamps, which this is. In the condition it's in, I would say $35,000 to $45,000 retail. If you were able to get the switch and the socket back the way it should be, it would be on the higher end, maybe $45,000 to $50,000.
Wow. It's exciting. I love buried treasure.
They belong to a good friend of mine who passed away 3 years ago in 2005, and He left them to me.
And what did he tell you about them?
He told me that they were Tiffany and that the floor lamp was originally in New York, I think in the 40s, and then he moved to Chicago in the 50s and the 60s, and then he moved to Los Angeles until 1988, and then he moved to Palm Springs. That one he bought in Los Angeles.
Okay. And do you know when?
I would say probably 73.
1973.
74, maybe.
During a period when Louis Comfort Tiffany and his artisans were exploring ever more naturalistic themes, turning the simple beauty of climbing vines and blossoms into radiant, glass-woven compositions of light and color, the woodbine pattern was born. Named for the woodbine vine, a variety of honeysuckle admired for its slender, trailing stems and trumpet-shaped blooms, Tiffany reimagined this modest plant as a lyrical study in movement and luminosity. One lamp showcases the woodbine design with clusters of red, amber, and gold blossoms woven among mottled green leaves, all rendered in Favrile glass with masterful shading and texture. The second lamp features a swirling lemon leaf motif, inspired by the curling vines and glossy foliage of the lemon tree. Even at rest, the vibrant shade conveys a sense of gentle motion, while its glowing surface transforms it into a tapestry of golden greens, like sunlight filtering through leaves. Both lamps date to around 1905 and carry the Tiffany Studios maker's mark, making them highly coveted treasures for collectors.
A lamp like this, I would recommend putting an insurance value of $85,000. And on this one, I would put an insurance value of $45,000.
Okay.
They're both very nice examples, and I'm delighted to see them.
Great.
My brother and I really don't know how it came into our family. I lived in Mississippi in Biloxi during 2005 Hurricane Katrina. And the lamp, I'm going to cry probably, the refrigerator was on the side, washed in another room. We had 14 feet of water. The Tiffany stood in a room, did not get knocked off the table, did not. So, yeah. Quite interesting.
It's a survivor.
It's a survivor.
As are you, by the way.
Thank you, thank you.
What you have is what we call the pomegranate design shade. It was made by Tiffany Studios.
The pomegranate design marks a fascinating moment in Tiffany's creative journey, right at the crossroads between the lush floral exuberance of his early 1900s work and the cleaner, more architectural style that defined his later years. Unlike most Tiffany Studios floral lamps, which celebrate blooming vines and petals, this design draws its inspiration from the fruit itself, a timeless symbol of abundance, fertility, and renewal found in art and mythology across countless cultures. The shade is crafted from leaded Favrile glass, its rich, glowing tones still captivating even as time has left a few small age cracks. A touch of oxidation has appeared on the leading, likely from years in a humid environment, and the bronze base shows a soft patina where the original finish has gently faded. Today, genuine Tiffany Studios pomegranate lamps are prized for their warm, jewel-like radiance, their elegant craftsmanship, and their place in Tiffany's evolution, from pure naturalism toward the refined modernism that would shape his later masterpieces.
In today's world, I would put a retail value around maybe $7,000 to $8,000 because of its condition issues.
Yep.
If it were perfect, I would be more inclined to say a retail value of $15,000 to $20,000.
Okay. Okay.
It could be fixed, but it's a little bit of a project. I'm glad that Katrina spared it.
I know. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
When did he work at Tiffany Studios?
So that I'm not absolutely sure. Probably the early 1900s.
The reason I ask is because based on the way this is signed, particularly on the shade, it says Tiffany Studios NY period instead of writing out New York. And usually that type of signature would appear on a shade that was made from 1910 on. I would put a circa date on this between at the earliest 1910 and actually it could have been made as late as 1920.
This Tiffany Studios floor lamp marks a graceful evolution from the studio's celebrated table and desk designs, translating their intimate artistry into a grander form suited for spacious interiors. Designed to command attention, it provided both illumination and elegance, making it a favored choice among affluent households, luxury hotels, and private clubs seeking to express cultivated taste and sophistication. Its handcrafted, leaded glass shade embodies Tiffany's signature artistry, ingeniously designed to pivot and adjust the direction of light, allowing both functional versatility and aesthetic balance. The lamp's stylized foot reveals a subtle Egyptian influence, reflecting the era's fascination with ancient motifs that swept through art and design between 1915 and 1920. While the lamp's structure is cast in solid bronze, its surface shimmers with a gold-plated, acid-etched finish that has gracefully aged into a soft, mottled patina. This gentle wear only deepens its character, bearing witness to over a century of history. Today, floor lamps of this caliber stand among the most coveted creations of Tiffany Studios, testaments to the workshop's ability to merge craftsmanship, innovation, and timeless beauty in a single radiant form.
This has an acid etched finish. That's why you see this modeling on the surface. And the shade could easily have been sold separately. In a retail venue, this would sell for between $10,000 and $15,000.
That's exciting. That's so cool.
Used to hang in my parents' home in Milwaukee on the east side. When my parents bought the house in 1965, it was there at the time. It hung in the house for the 40 years that my parents lived in it.
When was it taken down?
It was taken down probably 15 to 18 years ago because some of the links gave way.
That's probably because it's a little old.
And it's heavy.
Yes, at some point that probably can be addressed. This is a very early Tiffany piece.
Oh my gosh.
It actually dates from about 1892. And it's before Louis Comfort Tiffany's company became Tiffany Studios, which is what everybody says. But in the 1890s, the name of the company was Tiffany Glass and Decorating Company.
By the early 1890s, Louis Comfort Tiffany had begun turning his attention to domestic lighting, applying the same artistry and technical expertise he had honed in stained glass windows to table and desk lamps. In this early example, Tiffany's skill is evident in the twisted, silver-coated metalwork that encircles the opalescent glass pieces around the lamp's midsection, mimicking the texture and flow of a rope. Above, a delicate arrangement of opalescent protruding tiles adds depth and visual interest, reflecting a design motif commonly seen in late 19th century mosaics. The lamp exudes a Moorish influence, demonstrating Tiffany's fascination with Orientalism, a stylistic curiosity that informed many of his creations. Remarkably, this late 19th century Tiffany lamp retains all of its original components, a rare survival that enhances both its historical and collector value.
This would sell in a retail shop for between $15,000 and $20,000.
Wow. 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 I am so amazed.
My father-in-law had bought it around 1928 in Chicago.
And did you use it over the years?
We used it up until around 1960. And then since then, it's been in storage.
Was using it up till around 1960, did that have anything to do with having children in the house?
Yes, we had children and dogs at that time.
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm very glad that you held on to it and that you were able to keep it in such great condition, because this is a Tiffany Studios 12-light lily lamp.
The pond lily design reflects Louis Comfort Tiffany's fascination with aquatic plants and gardens, in this case water lilies, celebrated for their delicate petals, broad floating leaves, and serene beauty, were transformed by Tiffany into three-dimensional lamps that bathe interiors in a gentle, natural glow. This particular lamp is distinguished by its 12 individual flower shades, crafted from Favril glass, Tiffany's patented iridescent glass, in a warm, luminous orange. At the base, the lily pads cluster naturally around the stems that rise to support the glass shades, creating a lifelike, almost botanical representation of a pond in bloom. Equally remarkable is the lamp's patinated bronze construction, which retains its original finish, a rare survival among Tiffany's early works. Dating to circa 1915, this Tiffany Studios pond lily lamp remains one of the most coveted floral designs in the studio's oeuvre.
The shades, which are the most valuable part of the lamp, are all intact. What's happened with lily lamps is that it's been a very movable feast. The prices have sort of gone up and down and shot way up, but over the past couple years, I think they've reached a new plateau which people are very comfortable at buying them at, and I would value this lamp today between $30,000 and $40,000.
Amazing.
Do you know in 1915 who acquired it and how it was acquired?
My great-grandfather, his name was Frank J. Marion, and he was one of the early black and white silent picture movie moguls. And he built a mansion in Chapin Point, Connecticut, called the Marion Castle. And he bought a lot of Tiffany silver, bought Tiffany lamps, oriental rugs, and outfitted his house with all of those types of goodies.
Well, it is indeed a Tiffany Studios lamp, not Tiffany & Company, but Tiffany Studios.
Okay.
This Tiffany Studios lamp features a striking damisine-style shade, inspired by ancient and medieval decorative arts, particularly the metal inlay techniques of the Middle East and Europe. The Favril glass shade glows in a muted gold tone and is adorned with delicately carved insects, a subtle detail that collectors prize highly. Uniquely, the lamp's midsection doubles as a functional tabletop, allowing objects to rest atop it, a rare feature among Tiffany lamps. Both the glass shade and the underside of the bronze base carry the Tiffany Studios stamp and a reference number, confirming the lamp's authenticity. Damascene-style Tiffany lamps are exceptionally rare, as only a small number were ever produced, with most of the studio's output focused on floral and geometric designs.
Well, this is such a rare form because of the table. This is only the third one I've seen in 35 years.
That's pretty cool.
And I would say in a retail shop, this could bring between $20,000 and $25,000.
Wow. That's a lot more than I think any of us would have expected. It's very utilitarian for our family. It's in our living room. It means a lot to us in that sense.
Well,
but it means a lot more now.
This particular piece has been in our family for as long as I can remember. When I was a little girl, this lamp lived in my grandmother's home. We used to love playing with it. When it was lit, we would call it the brain lamp.
The brain lamp?
The brain lamp, yes, yes.
I understand why.
Yes. We also used to do a lot of dressing up as kids, and we would turn it so that we could also use it as a spotlight for our performances. So it's a very heartfelt piece for our family. So
well, there was a glass called brain glass.
Really?
Yes, but this isn't it.
Oh, okay.
This is actually a turtleback tile iridescent glass.
Okay.
The turtleback tile design takes its name from the shape and pattern of the individual glass tiles, which resemble the segmented shell of a turtle. These overlapping, slightly domed tiles create a textured, luminous surface that captures and reflects light with remarkable intricacy. Supporting the turtleback shade is a patinated bronze base that extends gracefully to lily pad feet, blending structural elegance with visual appeal. The Tiffany Studios mark beneath the feet authenticates the lamp and dates it to around 1910, a period when the studio was at the peak of its creative output, producing pieces for wealthy private clients, luxury hotels, and museums. A chain under the shade functions as the lamp's switch. However, it is a later replacement, and not original. Turtleback tile floor lamps are exceptionally rare and highly collectible, as their labor-intensive construction limited production numbers.
Now, I found a couple auction records. This was very difficult to find. It's extremely rare. And I would say today, in a retail market, you might find this piece at $30,000 to $40,000.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Wow. Oh my gosh. Kathy, thank you so much. I can't believe it.
I got it from my great aunt, and I believe it's a Tiffany lamp. It has not been converted. I don't know about the shade, what the pattern is, and I would really like to learn how to work it.
This is a Tiffany student lamp. This border here is referred to as a vine border, although some people have referred to it over the years as the acorn pattern. Most of the time, you would get just a regular blown glass shade on this. It's very unusual that you get a leaded glass shade. This is a very early lamp, and there is a very minute little Tiffany Studios stamp here on the shade.
The Tiffany Studios student lamp stands as one of the most refined yet utilitarian creations from Louis Comfort Tiffany and his team of artisans in the early 20th century. Unlike Tiffany's more ornate floral or nature-inspired lamps, this student lamp was conceived for function as much as beauty, providing focused illumination for reading, writing, and study while maintaining the studio's unmistakable artistry. Its dome-shaped shade, composed of Tiffany's signature Favril glass, is leaded in a soft green tone that casts a gentle, even light across the workspace. This lamp's body, made of richly patinated bronze, retains its original kerosene compartment and even remnants of the old wick. Remarkably, it has never been electrified, a rarity that adds greatly to its historical and collector appeal. Today, Tiffany Studios student lamps are treasured not only for their craftsmanship, but also for embodying the perfect harmony between artistry and purpose within the American Art Nouveau movement.
Do you have any idea of what it's worth?
I have no idea. I was thinking maybe $1,000, $2,000.
Okay. I think easy $8,000 to $10,000.
Oh my
and
goodness.
Maybe a little bit more. We don't see the very early lamps very often here, and it's a joy to see it.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited.
Purchased by my grandfather in about 1909.
Okay.
It was to be a wedding present or an anniversary present to his parents.
Oh, okay.
And then it's been passed down through the family.
Well, where did he purchase it?
He purchased it in Los Angeles.
And how much did he pay for it?
At the time, he paid $50.
$50, okay. What you have here is a Tiffany leaded glass and patinated bronze table lamp.
Not many Tiffany Studios lamps feature the poinsettia patterned shade seen on this piece, which showcases Louis Comfort. Tiffany's genius in transforming botanical forms into radiant art glass. Celebrated for its vivid colors and dynamic composition, the poinsettia pattern captures the essence of Tiffany's Art Nouveau vision, merging natural motifs, masterful craftsmanship, and the enchanting interplay of light. Measuring 18 inches in diameter, its shade displays a striking arrangement of red, yellow, and green blossoms that flow across its surface. Both the underside of the shade and the base bear the Tiffany Studios stamp, which authenticates the lamp and helps date its production. The patinated bronze base complements the floral motif with gracefully curved ridges that echo the natural forms above. Today, Tiffany poinsettia lamps are highly prized by collectors for their vibrant color contrasts, harmonious design, and enduring artistic significance.
I would say a safe auction estimate for this is $30,000 to $40,000.
Great, fantastic.
Which is a nice sort of gain on the $50 that your granddad paid for it.
It certainly is.
Okay?
That's great.
One day, my wife was sitting in the living room, and we didn't know if there was any markings on it. We had looked, and she looked up, and she saw it was a Tiffany Studio New York on it, or on the rim, and she just went, woo, like that.
You're right. This is a Tiffany Studios hanging shade. Do you know what the pattern's called?
I believe it's an acorn.
Wow, this is my big moment because when Tiffany made this shade, this was called the vine border.
While many of Tiffany's floral shades celebrated exuberant naturalism, the Vine Border series introduced a more architectural sensibility, appealing to clients who favored balance, restraint, and subtle ornamentation. Dating to around 1906, this shade is composed of rectangular glass panels arranged in orderly rows. Along its lower edge, a graceful vine border winds through the design, its sinuous leaves and tendrils rendered in contrasting hues of green and brown Favril glass. Although this example is missing its original fixture, a factor that notably affects its value, it remains a compelling work of Tiffany craftsmanship. Tiffany Studios' vine border shades continue to be admired for their refined interplay of geometry and organic beauty, exemplifying the studio's ability to merge structure with nature-inspired artistry.
If this were to sell without the original fixture, just like this, it would cost in the neighborhood of $10,000. That would be a retail value on the shade. What's interesting is you could go out and find the hardware. And when you do find it, it could cost in the neighborhood of maybe $2,000, $2,500. But it's not the easiest thing to do, and it is a premium in the marketplace. But if you were to get the original hardware and you did put it on the lamp, this would be worth between $15,000 and $20,000
With the hardware.
if you could get the original hardware. It's that important and that unusual.
Sure.
After an auction, I had gone back to pick up some other items that I picked, and I had become friendly with the auctioneer's daughter, and she said somebody reneged on a purchase of a Tiffany lamp. Long story short, my spouse basically said, get the lamp.
When was that?
2017. I paid $11,000, including auctioneer's premium.
And what do you know about it?
I know it's a Tiffany lamp. It was originally an oil lamp. It's been electrified. It has the hallmarks, and that's all I know.
By 1906, Tiffany Studios had reached the height of its creative output, producing an extraordinary range of lamps for affluent patrons and upscale retailers. While most Tiffany lamps celebrated organic forms such as dragonflies, wisteria, or poppies, a smaller series of geometric designs emerged to satisfy clients who favored cleaner, more architectural aesthetics. This particular lamp belongs to Tiffany's geometric series, constructed from leaded, favrile glass arranged in precise, repeating rectangular patterns. Each hand-cut glass panel is expertly leaded together, exemplifying Tiffany Studios' renowned attention to detail and superior craftsmanship, even in these more abstract compositions. Although originally designed as an oil lamp, it has been seamlessly electrified, maintaining both function and authenticity, while the piece's overall condition remains pristine. This geometric table lamp stands as a testament to Tiffany's versatility and innovation beyond naturalistic motifs and continues to be highly prized by collectors.
So in today's market, I'd say for a retail price, anywhere between $15,000 or $20,000.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. That's good. That's very nice to hear.
This Tiffany lamp features a leaded glass shade set atop a patinated bronze base, perfectly capturing the elegant refinement of the Art Deco period. A particularly interesting detail lies in the base, which conceals a small compartment that houses the light bulb and its wiring, an innovative design feature for its time. Beneath this compartment is the Tiffany Studios stamp, confirming the lamp's authenticity. Turning the shade over reveals an additional Tiffany Studios mark, helping to date the piece to the late 19th or early 20th century, when the studio had already gained international recognition for elevating electric lighting into a true art form. Though the shade pattern itself was among Tiffany's more widely produced designs, this lamp remains a striking example of the studio's commitment to craftsmanship, artistry, and enduring beauty.
I think conservatively at auction, $8,000 to $12,000, $10,000 to $15,000. So not a bad gift.
Are you serious?
Tiffany lamps are very desirable and people like the look.
Say that again.
$8,000 to $12,000, $10,000 to $15,000. Nice base, good shade.
I'm in shock.
This Tiffany Studios Spider Shade lamp is a rare and captivating example of Louis Comfort Tiffany's bold experimentation with naturalistic, three-dimensional floral motifs. Unlike more common Tiffany designs featuring dragonflies, poppies, or geometric patterns, the Spider Shade celebrates the delicate elegance of spider lilies, making it one of the studio's most sculptural and distinctive creations. The shade is expertly crafted from hand-cut, leaded favrile glass, Tiffany's patented iridescent glass, which refracts light with a soft, ethereal shimmer, highlighting the intricate floral details. It is supported by a patinated bronze base adorned with an organic motif, perfectly complementing the luminous, botanical character of the shade and completing the lamp's harmonious design.
I would put an auction estimate of 25 to 35,000 on it. 25 to 35,000, yes.
Oh my goodness.
This is one of the better Tiffany lamps we've seen in a long time.
As far as I know, it's a model of Geppetto from Pinocchio, and I think it was produced at the studio, approximately contemporary with the making of the film. I picked it up at an estate sale up in Winter Park, which is just north of Orlando. Got a pretty fair price on it, I think, but I'd like to find out a little more about what it is exactly.
When you got it, what did you pay for it?
I paid $200 for it. It was what I could take out of the ATM at the time after running to it and telling him to put it on hold, and came back and it was still there, and came away with a Geppetto.
Okay, great. Well, obviously it is Geppetto. In 1940, Disney Studios produced a full-length cartoon, Pinocchio. It was done after the book by Carlo Collodi, and this is an animator's model from that particular movie.
During the late 1930s, as Walt Disney Studios embarked on its ambitious follow-up to Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs in 1937, the animation team developed a series of maquettes, small sculpted figures used as visual references for animators. These three-dimensional models allowed artists to study each character's proportions, movement, and lighting from every possible angle, ensuring consistency across the film's hand-drawn frames. This particular maquette depicts Geppetto, the kind-hearted woodcarver who brings Pinocchio to life. Created under the direction of master animators Art Babbitt and Milt Kahl, two of Disney's famed 9 old men, it exemplifies the studio's meticulous attention to character design during Hollywood's golden age of animation. Sculpted first in clay, then cast in plaster, the figure was hand-painted in precise studio colors to match Geppetto's on-screen appearance. Every detail, from his expressive face and neatly curled mustache to the tiny cat curled at his feet, reflects the artistry and care that defined Disney's early production process. Though this maquette shows minor wear from age and handling, it remains a rare and highly collectible piece of animation history, an enduring link to the craftsmanship behind Pinocchio.
Also, along the bottom edge, you'll notice it's marked WDP, which stands for Walt Disney Productions. So that verifies also the age of the piece, Walt Disney Productions being after the Walt Disney Enterprises. It's a remarkable piece of animation history. As far as value goes on it, I would put an estimate somewhere between $6,000 and $9,000.
Wow.
For auction purposes. Yeah, I mean, you just don't see them. Vintage Disney collectors love this kind of stuff. It's a great buy. Certainly well worth the run to the ATM that you made.
That's amazing.
Sure.
Absolutely
Yeah.
amazing.